let's create a DAO, and we'll do that in a separate directory. And this will be DAOs. And we'll create our first DAO. We'll call it user DAO. Okay? So our user DAO is going to need the model, right? We just created, right? So we're going to have to load that. So const user model require. We're going to have to go up one and then down to models and then down to user model. All right, so we have the model. Yes? Now that we have the model, we would like to implement all the various CRUD operations. Yes? We like to be able to create a user. We like to be able to find all users. We like to be able to find a user by ID. All the CRUD operations that we would expect. Yes? So let's create a couple here. So we'll say const create user will be a function that takes a user object and just creates the user, right? Creates the user. So it's user model.create user. Notice that create is the same function that we've been using in the server. Here's our server, right? User model create, and it takes as argument an object. Yes? It creates an object. If this nomenclature is foreign to you, let me write it in the old user. There we go. Just a function. Just a function. I'm passing the user argument, and it's using user model and creates it. And it's going to return whatever it did. What is it going to return? A promise, which I can then use to do other things, to combine it with other things. Yes. I also have here function find all users. It's going to return user model.find. Yes. There's also function find user by ID with an ID, and it's going to return user model.find, and then the ID is going to be user ID. So it's going to filter by the ID. Everybody okay? All right, so I need to make this available to the rest of the world. All right, so I need to export something. So module.exports. I'm going to export an object that somebody can then use to refer to these functions right here, right? So I'm going to export a JSON object whose property is create user, and whose value is a reference to this function, right? And then find all users. And find user by ID. Okay? So anybody who's going to import this is going to get this JSON object. And they can use this object to refer to the functions in this file. Make sense? All right.